lost me. Oh, that was working out tonight. Yeah, right. Actually, I wish I.
Do you have your tape switched over and you're ready to go? Okay. Logan's ready again? Okay. Okay, we're ready to get started again. Okay, good evening. The hour being 6:54 PM on Monday, November 14th, 2022. I'd like to call to order the Village of Brookfield Committee of the Whole meeting. Bridget, can we have a roll call for the committee meeting, please?
Trustee Ketchmark?
Here.
Trustee Cote?
Here.
Trustee Hendricks?
Here.
Trustee Conroy?
Here.
Trustee Leclerc?
Here.
Trustee Kuzny?
Here.
And President Garden.
Here. Thank you. We have one item up for regular business. It's a discussion of Planning and Zoning Case Number 2208, a text amendment to Sections 14-178, 62-2, and 62-25 of the Village Code related to tattoo parlor use. Kate, do you want to take the lead?
Yes, thank you, President Garvey and honorable trustees. As President Garvey said, Case 2208 is related to the current code, Chapter 14, Business Licensing and Regulation, currently prohibits tattoo establishments. On September 12th, I was before you to discuss the position of the trustees as to whether they had an interest in advancing this to the Planning and Zoning Commission, and the general response regarding striking the prohibition. So given that there were comments in favor of that, this matter advanced to the Planning and Zoning Commission on October 27th. So after deliberation on October 27th, as well as public comment, the Planning and Zoning Commission issued a unanimous favorable recommendation, 7 ayes, 0 nays, 0 abstains, to add tattoo parlor to the personal improvement service category. So personal improvement service uses are permitted, meaning allowed by right, in the C1, C3, C4, C5, I1, SA1, and SA3 zoning districts, and with a maximum floor area of 3,500 square feet in the SA2 and SA4 zoning districts. I have prepared illustrations so that you have a specific understanding of those zoning districts. Generally, C1 encompasses the majority of Ogden Avenue. C3 generally encompasses Broadway between Lincoln and Monroe. C4, with the red dot pattern, is on portions of 31st Street, both the north and the south. C5 is the little-known zoning district on the northwest corner of town. There are almost difficult to see 3 parcels that are C5, and there is 1 parcel that is C4 in that area. SA1 and SA4 are generally known as our downtown area, and SA2 and SA4 are in the Hollywood Metro Stop area. SA3 and SA4A can be found also near the Congress Park Metro Station, that is the furthest west portion of Ogden Avenue, as well as East Avenue. And the I-1 district encompasses the full duration of 47th Street in the Village of Brookfield.
Trustee Hendricks, is there anything that you wanted to add? I know you were involved in the Planning and Zoning Commission discussion on this.
Sure, there was a lot of public comment, just like when
we had, when this came before us last, there was a lot of public comment exclusively in favor of this, there was a lot of, several people made the point that these services have come a long way since the 60s, and they're very clean, and all things that we have heard. There was really no discussion on the committee about denying this. Everybody was very in favor of it.
Do any board members have any questions or comments related to the recommendations from the Planning and Zoning Commission and staff?
Kate, is there any zoning district that it would not be allowed in? Commercial zoning district?
So SA 5 and SA 6 are not included. Those would be the only two commercial zoning districts, and
Where's SA 6?
great question. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that is the, go ahead, Emily. I think that's Fairview, a little to the,
Yeah, phone a friend for a zoning question. That's largely
Shame on me.
located along the tracks and is very much associated with residential.
Like where the food pantry is?
Yes.
that's correct. Also, to your question, the I-2 Industrial District, which is
Along the railroad?
pretty much where Sweetener Supply is located, that's not included.
So do we have, I mean, maybe this isn't something you can answer right now, but do we have any other or many other commercial uses that would be allowed in virtually all the districts?
So, yes, there are a number of them, but keep in mind that personal improvement service includes similar uses such as salons and barber shops, nail salons, other spas, those types of uses. So by the Planning and Zoning Commission recommending to add the tattoo parlor use to this category, it's adjoining that use with other, it is to say that the village recognizes tattoo parlors as similar to these other personal improvement service uses.
And those are generally allowed in these same districts?
They're virtually the same.
Okay, thanks.
I only have a question just regarding semantics. I mean, just the term in itself, tattoo parlor. I mean, when we put this in, can we just use tattoo studio rather than parlor? I can't think of anything else that's a parlor other than, I don't know.
They're changing the terminology is certainly at the board's discretion. So perhaps establishment or tattoo business or.
Establishment would work. Parlor to me seems dated. I just think that there's some negative connotation with that. And it's just, again, a good question of semantics. I thought if you called it a studio or an establishment.
Establishments, that works for me.
Kate, one more follow-up then on that. So is the tattoo establishment, whatever we call it, that would be categorized within the personal improvement services?
That's correct, yes.
So, I mean, and if those are allowed in all these various districts, how do you take this out of it? In other words, I mean, if personal services are allowed in a district and the massage establishment is a personal service.
That's a great point of clarification. So what Brookfield previously did is they removed massage parlors from that category as its own standalone category. And one of the options that was before the Planning and Zoning Commission at their meeting was to, in fact, create a standalone category for tattoo establishments, and that was not something that the commissioners decided to do.
Other questions or comments from the board? I would note that there was references to tattooing and body piercing establishments in under, section 14.178 was actually entitled establishments. I think it's just, and then it went back, there was references to parlor versus establishment. I think if the board's, there's a consensus from the board just to be consistent with the language establishment throughout, just to reflect trustee Conroy's observation that the term parlor seems to be dated and somewhat confusing. It could be go, just use the uniform reference of tattooing establishments. Do any other board members have any questions?
I appreciate the work this went into this. Thank you.
Is there anyone here, I'm going to have general public comment. Is there anyone in the public that wants to comment on this particular item? Okay. All right, so we would put this up for board action at the next meeting, the meeting of the 28th of November. And if the board has any further questions or comments, I'm sure staff would be happy to answer them. Okay, that ends the items we have up for discussion under regular business. At this point, I would open the meeting to public comment again. Is there anyone on my left side that has any public comment? Is there anyone on my right side that has any public comment? Okay, hearing no public comment, I would entertain a motion to go into executive session pursuant to Section 2C6, it's the setting of a price for sale or release of property owned by the public body.
So moved.
Second?
The motion to go into executive session was made by trustee Kaluzny, second by trustee Leclerc. Roll call, please.
Trustee Ketchmark?
Aye.
Trustee Cote?
Aye.
Trustee Hendricks?
Aye.
Trustee Conroy?
Aye.
Trustee Leclerc?
Aye.
Trustee Kaluzny?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, we're adjourned into executive session at 7:05. We will